is I finally was able to pretty much get rid of the cancer naturally because I went to Mexico to this integrative cancer therapy center where they actually fight cancer naturally there, and people from all around the world go there. So I was able to finally raise the funds with help of Jennifer and Dwayne, and everybody like literally just jumped on board and helped raise the funds to get there. And then when I got there, I had a difficulty before that because I had pneumonia, and here in the States they really gave me a hard time taking care of the pneumonia because I wouldn't do chemo. So it progressively got worse.
Oh, wow.
And it caused an opening in the lung. And because of the opening, I was literally drowning from the inside out. And by the time actually I got to Mexico, I had like days left to live.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
So when I got here, the coma happened because the only cure to fix the opening in the lung was chemotherapy, because it scars the body so much so that it would scar and seal it. And so when they were going to do it in Mexico actually, and it would just need a light thing of chemo, but the insurance wasn't going to cover it. So they would have did it, but we didn't have the funds for that. So we're like, well,
expensive.
we got, oh my gosh, crazy expensive. So we're like, well, we'll just go back to the States, use your insurance, and we'll do that. And we won't tell them that the cancer is pretty much gone, and we'll have them do that because that's all they knew. So, but the treatment they were going to do here was going to be the full-on regimen that they had in their mind in the first place because of the condition I was in. So that put me into the coma. Everything shut down.
Okay. Again, I see like just, and I have to say it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. It is. I remember looking at it, and I didn't really want to see, because I mean there was a point where you're unrecognizable. You're so like you're unrecognizable, and I think it's easier to watch because you know what the end result is. Thank God.
Yes.
But that process, there was an interview that I saw where your husband's there with you, and you're talking about it kind of casually, and you're even joking about it. But I could tell your husband had gone through so much.
Oh yeah.
Not knowing what was going to happen.
Yes.
What was his support like?
He's extraordinary. I mean, seriously, as much as I wouldn't listen to him.
Right?
Sometimes we never do.
No, it's like, it's my way and that's it. You know, I'm very, very stubborn. But he still supported that no matter what. It's like, even though I wouldn't do what he asked, and I wouldn't do the conventional treatments, he got that he needed to support me 100% because I needed that. And it's so important to have the support, because it's nothing worse than you're battling for your life and then you have to battle your friends and family that don't agree with you. It becomes very taxing.
That's a great point, because I know, unfortunately, I think all of us know people that have not survived.
Yes.
And they've gone through traditional means to survive. Yes. And sometimes, you know, those that have like an alternate treatment,
right,
you know, they hear of it, but because there's so much backlash about it, oh, you got to go through the other option A and B, and there's this like divide. Which do I do? What do I do? And I know people are coming to you now, and that's what I want to get out through our show, through to our audience as well. Those that want to go through option C, your option, what should they know?
Well, first they can go to createoptionc.com, where I've really shared a lot of my information there and continue to keep posting. They should know that there are options, and the one thing that first you need to know the moment you get diagnosed with cancer is pull out the sugar. Get the sugar out of your diet, because cancer loves sugar, and doctors don't inform you that because they're not trained to know this information. So you need to know that sugar needs to come out. Secondly, you need to know that you got to get out of the processed food and all the, all the edited. Yes, anything that's not natural, pull it out. If it's in a box, bag, or a can, don't eat it. And it needs to be organic. And there's all these things you have to do. And then you look for, if you go on, even on the internet, you can literally find books on it. You'll find other people that have done it themselves. You will be blown away on how many people literally have beat cancer even when they're at their last days of it. I was one of them.
I do have another friend, which actually there's a liquid that I believe was given to her, and she would take it. It was terrible liquid from what I understand. It was like black tar is the way she described it.
Yeah.
But it was from I'm not sure what the hospital was in Mexico, but I remember I was thinking, why do we have to go to Mexico in order to get this treatment?
Oh, it's very, there's a reason, and the reason is because FDA will not approve it here. And because it's not FDA approved, people get scared from it and that whole thing. But I want people to really get clear on what FDA approved means.
Yes.
This will help you. FDA approved only means they can't approve something that they don't need to regulate because it's not going to harm you. And they only regulate stuff that they know probably might kill you. So then they need to regulate it. But if they pump you with all this stuff and all it does is kills the cancer and makes you healthier and healthier, they will not approve it because there's nothing for them to regulate. So get clear on why it's not FDA approved. When it's not FDA approved, it's actually beneficial to your health.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wheatgrass, on top of being a chlorophyll that's very similar to our blood, which is just one component different, magnesium, and we have iron.
Right.
That's the only difference. But it has vitamin B17. Vitamin B17 fights cancer. You know, chlorophyll alkalines the body, so it fights cancer. So when you're saturating, especially if you have cancer, and you drink like at least 8 ounces of wheatgrass a day, you're going to knock that sucker out of your system, period, as long as you don't put sugar in your system. If you're pulling all that out and you're drinking that and you're eating healthy, you are gonna see results that you have never seen before.
That's right. Welcome back to Live with Aaron and Kelly. I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And we are here talking about surviving cancer. And I love talking about this because I think there's a lot of information that isn't at the forefront of news right now. And so I'm so glad that you're here talking about it today. I want to talk a little bit about how you can maintain building up the immune system once you've actually fought the cancer. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, definitely. You know, if you fought it naturally, your immune system's pretty high up there. But if you do radiation or chemo, the traditional way of fighting it, your immune system is shot. And a lot of times they tell you it's kind of gone because of chemo and it's never going to get back up. But that's not true. Actually, what you can do daily shots of wheatgrass daily. That builds the immune system. Vitamin C's of high doses in a natural state of form will build, your immune system. Juicing daily with all the different vegetables and fruits will build your immune system. When you're doing that daily, literally saturating your cells, your body's made so perfectly it has no other choice.
Right.
I love that.
So you will be fine. When they say, "Oh, you're gonna have these issues," not really. When you do those specific things that the body really needs, which is all the nutrients and minerals and vitamins that it needs through juicing, you're gonna be fine. You will build your immune system, and you'll notice because you literally by the second day you're going, "Man, I feel really good, like better than you've ever felt."
Yeah.
So it's something it becomes a practice, and it's something you always miss if you don't do it. It is a mind, body, and spirit thing. And I do want to touch on the juicing. It is true. You do want the fiber. So I actually mix the two. I'll juice half my stuff, and then the other half I won't. Now, but when I'm fighting cancer itself, the reason why I do straight juicing without the fiber is you need to give your intestinal area a break because most of your immune system is in the intestinal area. Okay. So if it's constantly working, it's using up more of that energy for that than it is for healing. Right. So what you do is then you don't want so much of the fiber. Right. Because when you juice, you'll use the bathroom regardless.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, Lourdes.
Yes.
You have had such a battle with that. And I want to talk about your daughter because your daughter's going through a battle of her own right now. Yes. I've seen pictures. I've seen her progress. But can you just tell us what happened with your daughter?
Yes. My daughter, which is actually the next documentary, is she had a blow to the head injury where it was a violent act. And so she went into the hospital, and they actually pretty much wanted me to turn off the machines because all of her white matter of the brain was completely gone. And they were telling me, it's like, look, we can wait. It'll probably take a few years, and even if she came out of it, she'd still be a vegetable. Her organs would shut down, and she'd still die. It's universally fatal.
Oh. And this was not too long ago.
This was just February 2nd of this year.
Yes.
And so I went in there and I thought, no, everything in your body is fixable. It's curable with natural means. I just need to know what fixes the brain. And so I did all my research and found that high doses of omega-3 fatty acids actually rebuild your brain because that's what your brain is built from when you're in the womb of your mom. So I'm like, well, then that's all I need to do is give her that, and the body knows what to do. So after going through my journey, I knew that doctors have to listen to you, and you don't have to do what they say. And and she looked pretty bad. She was, the machines were running her, and she was swollen and looked like a mess. And I still knew that was just temporary. So I told him, I said, she needs to get 20 grams of fish oil into her system. We need to put this in a feeding tube. And they listened, and after they put it in, I mean, I got an email from the doctor, and he literally thanked me and said, we don't get taught this in medical school. My daughter did come out from it. She's, now going through physical therapy to learn to walk without a walker, but she mentally is completely normal.
I just saw the video of her. Yeah, I saw the video of her walking down, and I thought, oh my God, that's beautiful.
Yes.
But I didn't know all that that you had to battle to get there. And people don't know that story.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And yet there's so many people with that story.
Yes.
Around the world.
Oh my God! In fact, the week that I was there with her, in just 1 week of being there with her, there was other patients in the same ICU with her, and 5 people that had the same problem died. Yet my daughter is here, living, breathing, and fine. And even today, she still tells me, she goes, "Thank you, Mom, for not giving up." And I let her know that was never going to be an option. Yeah. So things are curable. It's just that it's up to us to find the resource and the information, and not just hand our lives over to the doctors.
Yeah, they're not God.
Yeah, there's such a great point here about fear, and that's one of the things that I teach in my documentary, in my journey, is I want to transform the way the whole planet looks at cancer. I want them to pull the fear right out, and that when you get told that you have cancer, it's like they just told you got this really bad cold, and then you do all the stuff that you need to know that you got to do, or there's vitamin C in all your suits. You do those things because fear gets in the way of really thinking it through and being completely aware and focused on what's best for you.